So, what is this? This is the earnings presentation from Pearl Abyss. Why do we look at this every quarter? Because the only way for us to understand CCP financials is to look at the parent company that bought them. Because CCP is not publicly traded, they don't have to release financial information. But Pearl Abyss is. They're traded at the stock exchange, and they need to have investor calls, and they need to publish their financials. And so with every quarter we get a little tiny glimpse at the CCP parent company, and then we can look at what is in there. And I already see you mentioning NFTs, but hey, you know what? They've been mentioning NFTs the last 2 quarterly reports, so this is not new. I've been saying this is not going away because it's in there. Anyway, this is basically the first page where they highlight what happened in Q4, right? And the 2 big IPs they have is Black Desert Online and EVE Online, okay? Now, when you tell your investors what is great, what is going great about your product, because here they're not going to talk about game, like fuck all that. Here's all about making money, right? Here's all about we're a great company, we have a great product, we have a plan going forward, etc., etc. So if you're gonna pick 2 things that happened this quarter, what do you put on there? EVE Online Alliance Tournament NFTs, okay? So you guys thought this was insignificant, okay? CCP keeps saying, oh, it's a tiny little test, whatever, blah blah blah, right? Like it doesn't matter, you know. The only one really pushing that message is Hilmar in various interviews with for example, with the Korean Business Times. Hilmar is all in on NFTs, right? Hilmar is all in, and he's the CEO. So that this means that we are going to see NFTs in EVE Online. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. That we're going to see NFTs in EVE Online. The only question is when and how. Okay, so this for most EVE players, the Alliance Tournament NFTs were would have been a total non-event, right? It would be a total non-event. You know, I don't think anybody's really trading them. I don't think it. You know, it's a total. It's nobody gives a shit. The only reason people gave a shit is because they bitched about the NFTs, right? And so out of all of that, what they put on their slide 1 is Alliance Tournament NFTs, which is ridiculous. The second thing they put on here is the healthiest live MMO 2021 as voted by Massively OP. And the reason that is important to them is because in an investor presentation, you want to make sure that you show a future revenue model for your IP. And the biggest problem with video games from the investor point of view is that they have huge revenue in the beginning, and then they flatten out as people stop playing, or as they don't have expansion or box revenues to show. So they want to say, okay, we are old, but we're healthy. And that's why they always put in things here like, very loyal user base, the people still playing after 18 years, blah, blah, blah. And that's what they put in there. That's why they put here the healthiest live MMO 2021, that they won some Massively OP award that is also like a side note, right? Yeah, I'll let Bricktop is apparently explaining NFTs. So, in terms of performance, they've turned shit around, right? They were struggling in terms of revenue, and they've pulled it out. However, right, this is very misleading, because the money they made from in revenue is not from their IP. It's not from EVE Online. It's not from Black Desert Online. If you go down here and you look at the revenue by core IP, it actually went down. The only reason they had a positive operating revenue is because of their financial operations, which have nothing to do with the core and nothing to do with their base IP. So this is for us as a CCP player base. This is just saying they made some smart investments. This doesn't mean that Black Desert or EVE are successful. If you look at what's an IP, intellectual property. So this is interesting, right? Because this is literally the only time where we can see how much revenue EVE is making. So 19 to 18, this has been very, very stable. So EVE, the revenue that EVE Online is bringing is very, very stable, as opposed to the revenue that Black Desert Online is bringing, which is steadily decreasing, right? If you look at revenue by region, it's, you know, whatever, North America, EU increasing, and by platform, you can see that mobile is decreasing, which is not a good sign for EVE Echoes, which I'm pretty sure they expected to be more successful, and that also has Black Desert Mobile in it, so it's difficult for us to spread it out, to separate it out. It's EVE and EVE Echoes, absolutely, AKKA. This is EVE and EVE Echoes, but EVE Echoes is not as relevant as they wanted it to be. We have some details on operating expenses, but that shows you that they're investing, they're hiring. That's good. So if you look at their headcount, for example, they have 1,500 employees now, which is a 30% increase year over year. So Perlibis is hiring like crazy. That's only because of their new IPs, though. They have new games coming out, like Crimson Desert and this Doke V or whatever it's called game. This is the last very important thing, and this is their strategy going forward. What's going to happen in the next year? And for EVE, they put in here China service. Right? It's a kind of a weird translation at some point. This is EVE FanFest China, so that's cool. That's apparently going on. And I guess this seems like it's happening again next year, or in the upcoming quarter. And new service preparation. I mean, who the fuck knows what that means? I don't have the transcript for the calls here, so they might have explained that. I don't know. Their growth strategy doesn't include anything related to EVE. And so in the appendix you have their financial statements, but this the only thing this will tell you is what I told you earlier, is that their increased operating revenue came from financial investments rather than core IP. All right. In short, NFTs are coming.